Here we are once again with Mary Kaczor, world famous auto racer and jewelry designer, who happens to make her jewelry out of things. I don't know if you can see it, but that's a car there, and you make jewelry from car parts, not fenders and stuff like that.
No, and not usually regular cars, but race cars.
Okay.
Like that. See that? That's I'm actually wearing. This is a bearing from a Formula One car, and it's actually done for Renault. So you see here, this is the Renault emblem.
What some of us would call Renault.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, in France they say Renault.
They pronounce it correctly.
Yeah. So these are all made out of Formula One car parts. Here you have a ceramic ball bearing. A lot of people think that this looks a lot like a black pearl.
It does.
But it's actually used in the gearbox.
Okay.
There's 14 of them. And then we also do things for guys, or like unisex pieces like that. So the rubber gaskets are actually used in the car, and so are the chassis inserts. And then the piece that you're seeing me wear, these are actually hydraulic gaskets. And
obviously, if we get close enough, and my hand's shaking because if I get too close, I'm going to get slapped.
Yeah.
You can see a little wear on that gasket.
Yes, and these are actually pieces from a car that won at Monaco, the Monaco Grand Prix.
Really?
Yeah, about 4 years ago. And now I'm actually working on a new collection for the U.S. with IndyCar parts. So
how is that different from Formula One?
It's different types of parts, and in Formula One, they actually manufacture a lot of the parts themselves. Here at Indy, it's kind of like you buy all the parts and then you manufacture a small bit of it, and in Europe you manufacture most of it yourself.
So the inventory that you accumulate, is this like late at night you'll go into somebody's car and just steal the ball bearings? Is that how this works?
You think I make the crashes, right?
Yeah.
The next day? It's all because of me.
Where's that brake lining? Oh, somebody's wearing it.
Or I'm wearing it. Look at that. I've got gaskets actually
there you go.
as bracelets. I've been wearing this all day today. But a lot of times what they do is they take the parts out before they break. So the teams actually life the information. They computerize everything. Let's say something is supposed to run, the limit is about 1,000 miles or so. They'll take it out about 900.
Okay.
So it's less breakage out on
Better a little too soon than a little too late.
Exactly.
So how did you get into this? I mean, were you concussed at the time? I mean, what inspired you?
Well, Elliot, I have had 7 concussions. Thank you for bringing that up. It's not during car racing. It was mostly ski racing before that.
Okay.
But I studied fine arts. So I love design and I love cars. I love racing. So I basically merged those two things together. I was racing in Europe, and a lot of times you're actually going off and it's like planes, trains, automobiles. You're away and you have to get there at 7, then you don't do anything till 10. So I started making little bits and pieces, and I saw all of these bits at the track, and I said, hey, why not make something really kind of creative and fun to wear?
Definitely.
And a lot of times, if pieces have been used, they just sit in the warehouse or they throw them out. So in a way, this is kind of like creative recycling.
Definitely.
So it's being a little bit green,
Yeah.
As green as motor racing can be,
Okay.
helps.
So speaking of green, what's the price tag on some of these things? Reasonable? Affordable?
Yes, I have 2 separate collections. The more affordable fan bits and pieces. So maybe about 100 to the most expensive piece was about 50,000. And your wife wants that.
Yeah. It'll stay on her wish list. Couldn't I buy a car for that price?
You could, but I mean, what we did use, we used, diamonds and sapphires, and actually that was auctioned off to benefit a children's hospital.
Oh.
So it went to a good cause.
Oh, that's good. And you've found an audience out there that is into this?
Yeah, I mean, everybody that loves cars, and also for somebody that has everything. I mean, you don't really have this, do you?
Right.
So it's a really good, present to give. And all of them also come with a certificate of authenticity. so you know where it came from, what the part number is. Also, if it has like all the lifing history, you know what race is, what driver. So it's really interesting. You know, it's a little bit techy, but interesting also.
Okay. My Formula One knowledge is a little lacking, but let's say you got a part from, what's the guy's name? Lewis Hamilton?
Yeah, Lewis,
A guy like me could buy it and say, okay, well, his girlfriend, Nicole Scherzinger, might have looked at that car at one point.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
People can actually also call me up and say, I really like Lewis. Can I have something from that race? From the
Oh, can you
English
get
race?"
something driver specific?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, driver specific and then also race specific,
Okay.
depending on the actual pieces. Because after each race, what they do is they actually have a box in the back of the garage. So everything that comes out of the car, they just throw it in the box marked for
Boom.
Mary.
Really?
Yeah, and then I come through it and I go, that's interesting. Oh, that's still a little bit sensitive because certain parts are still kind of under development. So you don't want to give the corporate secrets away. You know, don't want to get in trouble there.
Hardly. So, it's mostly just the metal itself or the bands. It's not bejeweled for the most part, right?
It depends really on somebody's budget. It can be, so I do have bits and pieces that I've used diamonds and platinum and sapphires, and I've actually even dyed diamonds specifically like to team colors. So anything is possible, and I actually like to kind of push the envelope and do cool and funky things, even with like rough diamonds and mixing it with all sorts of different metals.
So, is this stuff custom ordered or is it out of a catalog?
I have the basic pieces. I've got like a base range about like 9 to 11 bits that you can just order it. It's at a lower price point. And then we have the custom pieces too, which is obviously, one-offs. And also you get the certificate of authenticity that is a one-off. And that could kind of accrue in value also.
Is it an authentic certificate of authenticity?
It's an authentic certificate of authenticity.
As opposed to the inauthentic certificates.
But then also, if a driver won a world championship, those bits and pieces might be a little bit more valuable, more expensive because there's less of them, and that doesn't happen that often.
And if I wanted to wander to find something for my wife, or if people out there want to find something for their wives or girlfriends or both,
or for the guys, because I do.
Or for guys. Where should they go? Is there a website out there?
There is, and it's racerxdesigns.com.
racerxdesigns.com.
Yes.
I think I can spell that.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you.
Well, thank you.